That's it. Hey, welcome to the What If podcast right here on YouTube. It is Thursday, January, I don't know, 13th.
Yeah, you can see. Wait, you don't know?
Yeah,
I
I know.
never know.
I got it right. I
Good
got
for
it
you.
right. I got to turn down my volume just a little bit. I
I
got my new
wouldn't have
headphones
known.
on.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
Am I all still good? Everybody
Yeah,
can
you're
hear
good.
me?
You sound great.
I can hear you. I'm sorry, I
All
can't
right.
control that.
Jake's arguing with somebody. I don't know what that's all about.
Amanda and I have been watching Righteous Gemstones.
I don't know what that is.
It's a show on HBO Max, and it's like this family, and they're famous televangelists, and they're like totally just like the richest family ever, and it's this televangelist empire, and this guy is trying to blackmail one of the people in it, and it's pretty funny. But
Is it a
Amanda's-
comedy?
yeah, I mean there's drama in it, but it's mostly a comedy. But yeah, Amanda was watching. It was at the end of an episode. She's sour about
Gotcha.
it. It's okay.
Oh.
It was a big episode. It was an important episode.
You cut her off, huh?
Yeah.
With 1 minute left.
Oh,
This is the What If podcast. For those of you joining us for the first time, if you want to find out more about us, you can go to Believe in the What If at Gmail. Or that's where you email us at, is believeinthewhatif@gmail.com. You can go to believeinthewhatif.webnode.com and you can see all of our podcasts. And I think this is number 7 or 8. I think
I believe you. I don't know. I like to
Yeah, I
keep
think
I
it's
don't know either.
it feel everyone
Guys-
is its own, everyone is its own special microcosm,
neither one of you goes to the website, do you?
No,
Nope,
I just don't
not a
count
single
it,
time.
man. I just don't count it.
I don't know what it
Each
looks
one
like.
is as important as the last. I don't like numbers. I don't fixate on numbers.
You don't even know what the website looks like, Zach?
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
Zach's in it for the content game. He just creates. He doesn't like the backside of it,
Well, for anybody else who would like to know what it looks like, go to believeinthewhatif.webnode. That's WEBNODE, webnode.com. You can find everything about the What If project. You can see the podcasts. You can read my blog called The Janitor's Closet. You can become one of our patrons and support us in the What If project. Just go to Patreon. All of those links are there, and Zach would know that if he went to it. It'd be fantastic.
Be just as surprised as Zach.
Every one of the YouTube podcasts are there. You can catch up with it on our inspirational podcast. I cannot. I'm shocked.
Are you really though?
Shocked? No, not really.
Not really.
Not really. I was going to say shocked and dismayed. But for everybody who would like to see it, do that. You can also check us out on Facebook at the What If Podcast, as well as our Twitter, the What If. So how's your week, Jake?
It's good, man. There's still COVID going on. It just seems like everybody is catching COVID in my life. So
Yes.
I'm glad you guys are feeling okay. It's a lot of COVID cases at the nursing facility, and so, but as of today, I'm still good. So no severe cases, which is good, but it's still not fun to get sick and have to go through that whole process. So just a
Zach,
lot of COVID, like a
got
lot of
any-
other Americans, a lot of other
You
people.
got
in
any
the world.
breakouts there, Zach, at work?
Works. It's pretty quiet. I think we only currently have like 5 people out.
Engineers don't like to socialize with each other.
Well,
Or
this is
at
all
all.
the company, not just the office.
Oh,
There's
that's
only like, I was gonna say, there's only like, what, 3 engineers there, isn't there?
Yeah,
yeah. Zach is he's a hot commodity.
in the top 3,
He's,
baby.
he's
Top
top
three
three
out of 3.
engineers at the company at all times.
Top 3. That's fantastic. Okay, so I was thinking today about, for those of you who are listening to the What If podcast for the first time, or maybe some of you, including Zach, who have never seen the webpage and haven't watched any of the podcasts, and you don't know what we talk about. We talk a lot about inspiration. We talk about motivation. We talked about things that excite us and don't excite us, and why they excite us and move us to change. And so this is what excited me this week. Okay. And forgive me if we go off on a tangent, but it's the most I've been worked up in a long time.
I don't believe that, but continue.
In a positive way.
Oh, in a positive way. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. No, not in
I
a
lost my theory.
positive way, just in an
I was
exciting.
gonna say in a
We
negative
have-
way. That takes a lot. That takes a lot to work through.
We have to talk about what happened Sunday in the NFL. We have
That
to.
is not a positive way. What are you talking about? That's totally
No, I'm not.
negative.
I'm not talking about the coach.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
okay.
I say
talking about
that
the
was
coach.
terrible for you guys.
Okay.
No. So I'm talking to my nephew, your cousin, and he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and of course the perfect storm had to come together, which culminated in Jake, our Colts losing.
Yes.
On an aside, I know that there's going to be tons of excuses, but Green Bay lost to Detroit. I don't care how they did it. They lost it. I don't care. You can, they lost.
I don't care
I'm
either.
saying it.
It's a
I know.
meaningless game.
I know nobody else does, but so this storm. So Indianapolis loses. The Steelers win. Steelers think we're in. And then not everybody realizes it, because you knew it for a couple of weeks, but I didn't know it. Then everybody starts talking about, oh my gosh, the Raiders and Chargers play. They had set this whole thing up on Sunday night. This was going to be it. Win and you're in. But if you tie, you're
They're
both,
both
in.
in.
Then people start talking. No, too much integrity about the game. We're all going to play to win. We're going to play to win. And I'll be doggone. And at the end of regulation, if that game wasn't tied, I was hooping and hollering, because I'm thinking to myself, I get to call Mitch and dash his dreams that he was just elated, not 3 hours before. We're in. Overtime goes all the way down to like 2 seconds, which later on you find out that the Raiders coach had said, we were just going to let the time run out.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Raiders coach said we were just going to let it run out. The Chargers coach at 38 seconds, for some reason, calls a timeout. And he's like, okay, if you're going to call timeout, then we're going to run another play. They get a first down. They're like 20 yards away. Boom, kick a field goal. Because here's the thing. If the Raiders are going to be in overtime, and they're going to be in the same spot. It's not going to change for them. Once that was tied at the end of the game, their spot was cemented, right? They're the number 6. They would have been the number 6 seed, right?
Mhm.
I mean, but the thought was, what if we try and kick a field goal and it gets blocked and the Chargers run it all the way back?
Then it's
Now
over
we're
for
out
you,
of the
bro.
playoffs.
Then it's over for you.
2 seconds left. All they had to do was and Pittsburgh would have been out. I think it was a scam. I think there was some sort of conspiracy there. Just
Conspiracy.
think about it.
Football.
Roethlisberger last year, you got to get him in. The NFL paid these players. They paid him off. I'm sure.
Logically, that's the only
Anyway,
explanation that could come
It
down.
was exciting, and now the playoffs begin, and so there was an excitement, except for the Colts losing.
Yeah, that sucked. Very
Like we said
embarrassing.
before,
Tons of
very
shame.
embarrassing.
Shame on the whole Colts nation.
Shame on it. And
Shame
we
forever.
said that before.
And I
If you
will
lose-
say it again.
If you have your destiny in your own hands and you lose your last 2 games, and the last game you lose is against the worst team, then you don't deserve to be in the playoffs.
Shame, dishonor on us because
Yes.
Well,
we're
I mean,
the Colts family.
Look on the positive side. You guys earned yourself.
There's
a
no
higher draft pick.
positive side.
No
I'm not looking on
positive.
any positive side.
None,
But
except a whole lot of inspiration to do better. Right? To do. Maybe
But
that's
here's
how we
the-
turn it around.
Here's the weird thing about it too. Okay, I know Green Bay. I know Rodgers played, and then Jordan Love came in and scored a touchdown. It's not like you're like, oh, we gave up. Okay, but here's the thing: in Detroit beating Green Bay and Jacksonville beating Indianapolis, Detroit, if they would have lost like they should have, now they get the number 1 job.
It's
They get the number 1. They blew the number 1. pick.
Nothing
did.
happened that should have happened, and that's just sad.
They blew the number 1. Anyway, it was fun. I got
It is
excited
fun.
about it. I thought it was
That's
a
good. I'm
great.
glad. It makes me happy when you get excited about things.
It was. I was hooping, and your mother was making fun of me.
Oh,
I was
good.
talking to the TV, and oh man,
That's the good stuff. That's the stuff of life. That's why we like sports and competition things.
so my question
right?
is, this isn't really much inspirational.
No, that's okay.
Okay, but it's an excitement, and so the playoffs begin. For Jake and I don't know that there's much excitement. Maybe there
No.
is. Maybe there's this team. Our teams are out. Zach has all kinds of excitement, but not this week because he doesn't play. But you'll find out who you play.
Yeah.
Does Zach, do the playoffs get you excited?
Yeah, of course they do. I mean, Packers are always in, so I always have something to look forward to.
Boo to that
That's not
phrase.
That's not right. But here's my thing though. Since they're always in and they always lose, not always, but they do sometimes. You get where I'm going at, besides Green
Yeah.
Bay's horrible. Is the idea of, since you make it all the time, is there this sense of just, here we go again. The playoffs are just an extension of the regular season. Or
No,
do you
'cause there's
not?
always hope that we're going to go all the way.
Well,
It's
that's
not
all
like we
you
make it
got.
to the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah, you don't make it to the Super Bowl. The number of times you should have been to the Super Bowl and you weren't is just
Astronomical.
it is. So here's what happens. I hate Green Bay, but since Green Bay is in the NFC North, which if my Bears can't
You have
make
a
it,
weird. That's weird to me. That's like
there's a chain of command.
Is that the chain of command? They're in the north, not that they're the biggest rivals.
Nope. If the Bears don't, I do it
Strange.
with baseball too. If the Bears aren't in, I have to go with the division. If my division doesn't make it, I have to go with the conference. You have to. Otherwise, you're just all over the place.
You don't have to.
Otherwise, it's Madison. It's like sports is just a game or something.
It's not the Packers. I
Exactly.
just want everyone to just go down and get injured. And
During the season, we want that to happen. But yes, I have to root for the Packers now. I have to.
you don't have to, but you choose to.
Yeah, I do. I have to. That's the rules, man.
And
Ever since I've been a kid, if the Cubs didn't win,
It's your own-
whoever's in
it's
the
your
National
rules.
League Central, it's the rules I grew up with my family.
and you know what?
Father-
It's-
My father and my father's father taught him to.
and since I'm in,
And I will but not be the last one to break it.
and I will, since I'm in the
It will die with
great
Jacob.
state of Texas, baby, I'm rooting for America's team, the Cowboys. Woo!
That'd be fun.
Is there a lot
Yeah,
of excitement
baby.
over there?
No, not from me, but it's manufactured. It's manufactured excitement from me.
It is. So that's what I was going to ask you, Jake. Who are you
Yes.
rooting for then?
I'm
Is it the
rooting
Cowboys?
I'm rooting for the Cowboys only because I'm in Texas. Call it a bandwagon. Maybe that's what it's called. I'm not going to become a Dallas fan, but I don't have anybody to root for. And you got to root for somebody to keep it fun, right? So I'm gonna root.
Or you
Dallas,
have
I
rules
live
in
in
your
Texas.
family that say you must go to the division?
No, those
It's-
rules don't make sense to me at all. Because I'm
And that's
I'm a
okay.
Colts
They're-
fan. So then
they're-
there's
that's
no
right.
one. I would have to be rooting for Tennessee. I don't want to do
That's
that.
right.
I don't want to
And
do
that's
that.
okay. Because they're not your rules.
That's true.
They're my rules. Zach, I know who you're rooting for, but I'm gonna put you on the spot and say, give me a percentage of Green Bay being the representative to Super Bowl. What is it? 56?
I honestly can't remember.
I think it's Super Bowl 56. What's the percentage?
I'm gonna give a solid 75% chance.
75%. He's confident.
I'm gonna say it's a coin flip, 50-50. Either they will or they won't.
Well, that is true. They will
That's-
or they won't.
facts for
Yeah.
every team ever.
Yeah. So I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna tell you this. This is how it's gonna play out. Okay. And then you guys tell me how you think it's going to. I'm gonna start in the NFC. Okay. Somebody bring up the games. I don't have the games. Zach, you always
Zach's got
have the
it.
games on your phone. And
I
we're talking
was
about
thinking
this
sitting
today.
down, and we should make a bracket and fill it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, we should, well, we won't have to because it's recorded. Boom, these are our brackets. And and the reason I'm talking about this is because one, it is exciting, and I don't know if it's inspirational, but if we don't talk about it, we look like dummies because we're not talking about what's going on. Because I know this is exciting for a lot of people.
And inspirational too, I believe, in like a
How so?
cyclical way. I like in the same way that all sports are or can be, in the same way that like the Olympics can be
The Olympics are
inspirational.
coming up, by the way.
You know, like say what you will about sports. There's people who don't care about sports. There's people who are the biggest fans of sports, and you know, it's inspirational to me to see somebody, and it is kind of funny because you'll never see me being somebody that's like, oh, you gotta just always try to achieve things, and like, you know, I've talked on other podcasts about like how that's not my life view at all, of trying to achieve, but it is inspirational when you do see people struggle to achieve something, change what they're doing in their lives, or, you know, in this case with their team, how they play this game, and then achieve it, and then achieve something difficult that maybe they didn't think would be possible, or they haven't done in a very long time, right? Like there's just like a core to us that has this idea that we can achieve things for the most part, you know, whether that's big or small. And I think that is I think that's why sports and competition, like dating back to, you know, I don't know, when the Greeks were wrestling each other in
When
mud
men
pits and
walked in the
stuff.
tall grass.
When men walked in the tall grass, like there's an idea that's inside of us that says, let me try to do something challenging, and when I do, it is a triumph for me and my spirit in some way.
Ooh, where'd you get that from?
Nowhere, right in the noggin, baby. That's where that came from.
That was good. That was inspirational.
So
Let-
in
I'm
that
gonna-
way, sports are inspirational for sure. Competition.
I'm gonna piggyback on that and ask you, Zach, is hope and inspiration inextricably linked?
I mean, like hoping like as a fan, hoping
Right.
that my Packers win the game, I wouldn't say inspires me to do anything or
Okay.
but it fills me with joy and eagerness and excitedness. I mean,
The reason
maybe
that
it inspires
the reason
me
that I
to,
asked that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, like the excitedness inspires maybe me to watch games with family members, and I guess in that case that excitement inspires me to spend time with other people, to talk about it with other people, and
Yeah.
just more of a community type thing of kind of inspires me to be more bonded with people over
The reason I asked
Commonality.
that is because something strange happened. And I'm trying to figure it out with Ben Roethlisberger. I don't know if you read the article or not. It was in the Sporting News. So when they make the playoff, I think the Monday after, the Sporting News asks Ben, and you can find it if you go to sportingnews.com, I think. Ask Big Ben, what are your thoughts about, you got to go to Kansas City, not an easy thing. And he says, now this is Ben Roethlisberger, who's getting ready to retire, says, quote, "We don't have a chance," unquote.
I didn't see.
And
Did he
then
really say that?
Yeah, that he said, it's a quote, "We don't have a chance." And then he says, "I wouldn't be surprised if we lost by 20 or 30 points." So, knowing that we don't have a chance, let's just go out and have fun. So my question is, what's Ben Roethlisberger up to? Is
Oh,
it
man,
that whole idea of we don't have a chance? That gives us hope because we don't have anything to prove. We can just go out there and bang, and we're gonna. Is it some
He's
sort of
pulling a
wizard
reverse
psychology?
Joe Namath. That's what he's doing.
He is.
It's a reverse Joe
he-
Namath.
Maybe he's just a Debbie Downer. Maybe that's just his personality. Man, we can't.
Well,
do
I'm
this.
thinking he has no repercussions. He's not coming back. It's not like you're like, dude, you're benched. They're not. That's not going to happen. But I'm wondering, does telling your team we have no hope somehow, in some sort of wizard psychology, give you hope?
I like that.
Is there this
Need that
all the
wizard
pressure?
psychology.
All of the pressure's off. You're expected to lose by 30.
And then you go
We're
out
just-
and beat the Colts and ruin their year.
Exactly. I mean, that's what I'm getting back to, the whole thing of hope and inspiration. When Ben Roethlisberger says we have no hope, does that somehow suck the inspiration from his team, or is there, like I said, some sort of mental
Wizard psychology. I like that. I wanna
wizard
keep that.
psychology
Let's keep that going.
that says, I'm going to suck away their hope, and in doing that, I'm going to inspire them?
I think that's a good
And
question.
if so,
Probably depending on the person.
Holy-
I think that, I think as with a lot of answers, most of them are, it depends. I think that with sports and in this high level of athletics, it can't, that wizard psychology can work, because everybody is going out to they're doing their jobs the best they can. They're doing, playing this sport, which is their livelihood, and they want to win. Right. But to I don't know. That would do it for me to have like your leader, your quarterback, your main dude say, "Oh yeah, we don't like." I'm sure they know him, you know,
Yeah,
and they know that Ben Roethlisberger is driven, like hopefully, and so it's
Yeah,
like if he says that, it's like, oh, Ben, like I know what my leader is doing, you know. And so in that way, I can see the wizard psychology too, you know. But if it's like another situation, like you're, you know, you like hear you're in your office and you like hear whispers of downsizing, and
Uh-huh.
your boss comes in and is like, I just want to tell you all, like the rumors are like they're probably gonna happen. Like I'm not
None of you
inspired
have
by
a
that.
chance.
Like
You don't have a chance.
inspired to find another job.
Don't you
Yeah.
think though? Don't you think that everybody was shocked because it it's like one of the very first times when you're like, oh, that professional athlete just stood in front of the press corps and told the God's honest truth.
Yeah.
Because that everybody knows Pittsburgh doesn't have a chance. Now, they could win, but before they play the game, on paper, they don't have a chance. That's why they play the game, and Ben knows that. But I'm when he said that and I read that, I thought, Ben, what kind of sorcery is coming out of your mouth
I think
there?
it's a reverse Joe Namath. I think, and he's going to be like, and if they win, they're going to be like, Ben, you guys did it, and he's going to be like, oh yeah, we didn't have a chance, and it's going to
And
be
if they lose, like I told you, we didn't have a chance.
told you, no
That's
chance.
exactly
Do
right.
you like?
And if they win, you're going to see no chance Ben
Oh,
Roethlisberger
it's gonna be a great
inspires
headline.
Steelers
Yeah.
to upset Chiefs. I mean, that's what
colon
Colin.
reverse Joe Namath with wizard magic,
That's exactly right.
wizard logic. I think like do y'all do that, like if it's self-talk or like maybe somebody else literally saying like, oh, I don't have a chance, like does that, or you don't have a chance, like does that inspire you in different ways, being told that you can't do it? I mean, there are plenty of people out there that it's like, if you tell me I can't, then I will.
And I think
Automatically,
that's
like automatic inspiration.
I think that's the route that I think that was the challenge that Ben laid in front of his team. He's the bad guy that stands up and says exactly what you said in the locker room. In essence, they're better than we are. You guys suck. They don't. You're going to lose. And then underneath his breath, as he turns back around, he says, prove me wrong.
Yeah.
And I think that's the inspiration. Or he's just telling the truth and he really believes we don't have a
And
chance.
he has really given up. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like,
He's
man,
really given
I
up.
just wanted to go home, guys.
I want to take my ball and go home and retire and maybe get a spot on ESPN later.
That's exactly right.
I think that's interesting. Like when it's like this interesting idea of like our inspiration and our level of motivation depending on who tells us something.
Uh-huh.
You know, like because plenty of I'm just thinking of like, you know, personally, like me personally, I know tons of people do like have this idea of like this bad self-talk, right? This, you know, either it's like a lack of confidence or it's starting out in situations and saying like, okay, you're not going to do great at this. And like, that affects me negatively. Right.
Right.
But somebody else comes and tells me the same thing, like, you know what, you're not going to do great at this. And then I get fired up, you know, and then I get inspired to do great. So I think my question is why, and there's probably no good answer, but why do we get more excited to prove other people wrong instead of prove ourselves wrong?
Probably just a satisfaction.
Is it not satisfactory to prove yourself wrong?
Well, I think when we have self-doubt, I think we probably hit ourselves a lot deeper than a random person.
Sure.
So it probably hurts a lot more when you put yourself down because you know your weaknesses, you know your limitations and stuff, but probably a lot of times when other people say it or something, they don't know you as well, and
Well, like, what if they said the same exact thing? Would it hurt exactly the same? Would it affect your motivation to change or to accomplish something in the same way? That's kind of what I'm getting at. Or is it worse? Is it worse either way?
I don't know. I'm wondering if is it harder to fool ourselves? So in other words, if you're faced with some sort of task and you tell yourself through your self-talk, yeah, I don't have a chance.
Right.
This isn't going to work. Is it because, I mean, deep down inside, there has to be some truth self-talk, right? I mean, you must really
I think
don't
that's
have
it. That because I think that's the assumption is if I know this, then it has to be the truth. But I think we get that wrong. I think we get tons wrong about ourselves all the time. That's like the root of a lot of issues, right? And so,
I see what you're saying with the whole idea of this, the whole backwards idea of if you believe it, you can achieve it type of thing is the opposite side of that coin that says
that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
If we're going to continue the rhyming thing, it's like if there's doubt, then you're out. I mean,
Right.
you can talk yourself into achieving a lot less than you probably could have. But I don't think I could fool myself in saying, you're a jerk, you can't do this. Well, I'll show you. I mean, if you start with that side, now you're being almost psychotic.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
I
then you need
think
to go to the hospital because
maybe
I know,
what
yeah.
I'm thinking of is like, and again, there's probably all kinds of research on self-talk, and I would love to get an expert in here because that affects our motivation and affects what we do once we're motivated. Like we get motivated to change, right? And then okay, now there are these steps that we can go to like continue that out to have a life that is changed. And like our self-talk can affect that. It's like, oh, I got motivated to write a book. I'm so motivated. I'm so inspired and so motivated. And now there's these really hard things that I have to do. Those are really hard though. Like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's kind of, those steps are kind of hard.
Yeah.
Are you the type of person that can do that? You're not the type of person that could really do this. And what I'm thinking is like how I don't know if this isn't entirely thought out, but that's most of my thoughts on this show. Is like maybe we shouldn't give ourselves as much like credit. Like maybe our own voice isn't as actually true as what we believe it is. Like maybe our perception of ourselves is like actually skewed in a big way, for a lot of things. You know what I mean? Like because like let's just say like, oh, I'm not the person that could write a book. And then Dad, what would you say to me?
Of course
you are the type of person that could write a book. I know you. And then I would say, I know me. And you would say, I know a different you than the you that you know.
No, right? What you pull out is that culmination of what I think everybody thinks about is when we say to another person, I wish you saw in yourself what I see in you.
Right.
Because I think a lot of the times, and we'll use your book analogy, I think a lot of the times it's either not thought up, or you get to a point of, oh, look at all the things I have to do. Not that I can't do them. I didn't realize I had to do them, and I don't want to do them.
I don't want to do them.
I don't want to do them.
Sure.
That whole type of thing. So maybe it is easier to be inspired by another person than it is to inspire ourselves.
Yeah. I think
that's
that's a big roundabout way to say something that is pretty easy that most people I think would say, and I agree with you. It's like, yeah, it is.
I think there is more gratification in proving somebody else wrong than proving yourself wrong.
Yeah.
That's what and I think, because I think if we could all motivate ourselves, this world would be a lot better. We would all be more than we are.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't motivate yourself. You have to do that. You
Yeah.
have to motivate yourself. But the spark usually comes from some sort of outside source.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
And what's cool, and there's tons of research on self-efficacy in like I'm thinking of in sports, because that I remember taking some courses on it and having to do with motivation, and how there's this idea of self-efficacy, which is like how well you see yourself. And in this case, it was centered on sports, which is kind of cool because we were talking about sports. And it's like, how well do I see my own ability? And like, how much do I want to compete against myself? Right.
Mhm.
And to get better just for me, like to notice that I have gotten better at something in this sport. And then they're like, everybody has that to some degree, whether it's high in you or low in you or whatever. And then everybody's got a meter that says like, oh, how much do I want to outcompete other people? I want to be better than you, right? And there was this meta study that kind of looked to see, okay, what do these best athletes in the world look at, and how do they see themselves in their competition? And the best athletes in the world scored very high on both, right? Which makes sense, right? They want to outcompete themselves and they want to outcompete other people. And people who burned out in their sport actually had very high of I want to compete against other people and pretty low of I want to compete against myself, right? So
And you
I
see
just
that
think
a
that's
lot.
really interesting. Yeah.
You see that a lot. I mean, if you look at those who are super achievers, I'm thinking of Tom Brady's,
We'll stick with
Michael-
sports because we started with it, you know?
Michael Jordan's. Yes, I'm saying LeBron James. Those type of people have always been either you can see it very easily, or you know that it exists somewhere down underneath the surface. Egotistical, narcissistic, self-pushers. That idea says to be the best, you've got to want to be the best. You have to, you have to tell yourself, I'm better. That very rarely do you find it, maybe in Peyton Manning, maybe in some other people in the sporting world, where you see somebody who just has this humility and has achieved greatness. But I still think deep down inside, even if you look at Peyton Manning, I mean, you get him talking, you see those burn. I want to be the best. I want to beat the best. I want to prove that I'm better than you. And that's that driving force. I guess to wrap it all up and put a bow on it, with this whole idea of we either need to be to ourselves, or we need a Ben Roethlisberger in our life that says, you don't have a chance. Prove me wrong.
Sure.
That it's the guy who sits outside that says, I don't think golf is a real sport. Prove me wrong. Is that what isn't that what that guy does outside of the college things?
More or less. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Not more or less. What is it?
No, yeah, no, yes.
Is it prove me wrong?
It's
Convince me otherwise. What is it? He sits
no,
at that table.
I think it's prove me wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. And he does that with a number. Anyway, I think that it's one of those things that very rarely you find somebody who can, in sports, who self-motivates themselves to the point of, I think Aaron Rodgers does that, but I think that's it because I just think he's just the biggest jerk in the world.
Now Aaron Rodgers comes out. Aaron Rodgers comes out and says we're going to lose.
Nobody's better than him.
No, if he comes out and says, "Oh, we're going to lose by 30 points," then the whole team is caving. It's like we're not even going to show up. Like we're.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
There's no inspiration there at all.
No inspiration.
No,
only
just raw. Yeah, just egotistical raw talent. That's all it is. It's just a man who is the biggest jerk. I'm such a jerk. Ah,
I think, yeah, that
But-
whole line of questioning is interesting to, and it's good to look at it in sports. And I think of it, because most of us aren't in sports, to to see like, okay, in what areas of my life am I just striving to like be better than other people or be better than an ideal that I have set forth in my mind? And in what areas in my life am I trying to self-improve? Right? Because you can self-improve unhealthily for sure. Like you can,
sure.
it's not like one is good and one is bad. It's like, what's my meter in my life? Like, are they both like really, really high? And I'm just like this driven burnout of a person, trying to succeed at
Right.
everything. Are they both really, really low and I'm not inspired by anything? Maybe it's worth, looking and asking yourself.
I think it's that one. I think it truly is the whole thing you see on Facebook. You see it everywhere. That little quote that says, "Be the person that your dog thinks you are." That really that somebody else sees in you and sees the potential. And why can't we could do a whole nother show on that. That's an interesting, very interesting topic to me of how we achieve, why don't we achieve, how do we become better than we think we are, without thinking that we're better than everybody else.
Right.
I think that's an interesting thing, but we're running out of time, and I want to get to these. I want to get them on Zoom recorded
on record.
So Zach, start us out with today's the AFC's Saturday and Sunday's game. I think actually there's a Monday game as well.
You want to go through
For whoever's
day?
playing on Saturday. Who's playing on Saturday?
Well, I'm just gonna go by division because I got the bracket open.
Okay, however you have the bracket open.
Well, I could do that the way. That's fine. So Saturday we have the Raiders versus the Bengals.
Jake, Raiders at Bengals.
I'm gonna go with the Raiders. And the
Raiders
score
are the hot team going in.
I think that's the thing. I think they're hot. I think Joe Burrow has a good game, but it's too much. He doesn't get the limelight of the playoffs. He's going to make him fold.
This is his first time.
Yeah.
As a professional. So what's the score? Raiders at Bengals. You're picking Raiders, and what's the score?
Oh, I'm gonna say it's 24 to 30. 30 to 24.
30 to 24. Zach, what do you say? Raiders at Bengals.
Well, I gotta represent my roommate Lee with the
Right.
Bengals. He's
Yeah.
a big Bengals fan.
And
So I'm
the
gonna choose
score?
the Bengals. It's gonna be a little bit lower scoring game. 17 to 14.
Oh, it's a closey. I'm going with a total blowout. Bengals 42 to 13.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
gonna yeah, 42. They're gonna go nuts. Burrows is going nuts.
Thinking
Raiders
Burrow
does-
steps up. He says, "I'm motivated to,
Raiders
to
used
be the
all
best
of their-
me and to beat the best you."
That's it. That is exactly right. I truly believe the Raiders used all their emotional capital last Sunday.
Last Sunday.
They spent all of it. Boom. They're like, I don't have
They're
anything
burnt
left.
out. Okay.
Yep, they're burnt out because half of them had to cancel tickets to Hawaii for their family vacation because they didn't even think they were going to be in the playoffs. They were sitting next to Ben Roethlisberger on the plane.
Saying y'all don't have a chance.
That's it. You don't have a chance. Okay, who's the next Sunday game or Saturday game?
Then it's the Patriots versus the Bills.
Oh, that's a good game.
Rematch.
That's a good game.
That's tough going in.
It's at Buffalo.
I believe so, yeah.
That's tough going into a rematch because Bill Belichick, he'll adjust. The Patriot, you can't sleep on the Pats. Pats are
Well,
good.
the Patriots beat the Bills last time,
That's the thing.
and
bro.
they only
It's
threw the
even.
ball like 3 times.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
even. I'm gonna say the Bills. I'm gonna say the Bills come back with a vengeance, and Bills Mafia just goes wild.
Score?
31-10.
You were going to say 0.
No, I don't even know what I was gonna say. 31 to 10.
31
Yeah.
to 10. Zach, New England at Buffalo. Now, here, I want to add this in, and Zach or Jake, if you want to change it in, you will have to think that I do believe there will be a storm rumbling through Buffalo.
Yeah, that makes it even better.
I think it's either going to be snow or ice. One
all
of the two, I
right.
think. So what do you think,
Spicy.
Zach?
I think the Patriots are gonna do it again.
Oh,
I think
come
the
on.
I
Pats
think
are gonna
they're-
do it.
What's the score?
I'm just no one scored any points in my games, I guess, because for some reason I just keep thinking low scores. But especially this one, I think it's gonna be a big defensive battle.
3-0.
10-7.
10-7. Okay.
Ooh, that is a close. I am going to go with Buffalo, and I think I think it is going to be I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think
No idea
Buffalo-
why. No reason.
Everybody, I have no reason, but I'm thinking that these people are. There's going to be blowouts. These are going to be. It's going to be the thing of you're going to find out who deserves to be here and who just got in by luck.
Yeah.
That's what you. So I'm going to say Buffalo's going to win 32-14.
The Patriots are a pretty hot
Yeah.
team too, though. They've been winning tons of games. They're on a streak.
Not when you go into the frozen tundra.
That's right. That's right. So
There's only one
okay,
frozen tundra.
There's only yeah,
so,
that's the Packers.
Oh, before we go on, and before I forget, Zach, I'm going to email you a YouTube link that I watched. It was awesome, and it was how stadiums prepare for an NFL game, and it was Lambeau. They were
That's cool.
preparing for a Monday night game. It's like half hour, and it's fascinating. I thought you'd think that it was cool. Anyway, are those the only? How many games are on Saturday?
Just 2. Those are the only 2 games on Saturday.
Okay, then we go to Sunday.
Then Sunday, we're gonna get a very close game between the Eagles and the Bucks.
Hey,
It's not gonna be
I'm just
close.
going to say this.
Spoiler alert.
I was watching ESPN, and they had their guys picking the scores. Everybody picked Tampa Bay to win 27-23.
Close.
I'm just saying. What do you
I'm gonna
think?
say 35-17.
I'm assuming Tampa Bay.
Yes.
Okay. Zach, what do you think?
I would love it if the Eagles won, though. That would be awesome.
I would love that too, because then that's one less good team we have to worry about. I'm gonna say 27-10.
27-10. I'm going with Philadelphia, and the reason I am is because I just watched Silver Linings Playbook for like the
you
12th
got
time.
to then. Excelsior. That movie's
Excelsior.
all about. That movie's all about.
I know the real
motivation,
reason. You're
baby.
just against Tom
Inspiration.
Brady.
I hate Tom Brady. But here's the thing.
Self betterment. That movie's great. I'm
Silver
changing
Linings-
my pick. Eagles
Silver Linings
35-17.
Silver Linings Playbook got me all riled up for it. I love that movie.
Excelsior.
Excelsior. I'm finding that silver line. I'm taking it as a silver lining. And I'm going to say 27-22. I don't know how you score 22 points, but you do. 27-22.
I flipped it. 35-17 Eagles.
It is the shocker of the playoffs.
Tom Brady
It's gonna
starts
be
to
the
cry.
Shocker. He
Yeah.
does. That's
I like
exactly
that. I like
right.
the sound of that.
I'm taking it as Excelsior.
Yes.
That's it. What's the next game?
The next one is offense versus defense. We got the 49ers versus the Cowboys.
Skull Boys. Only for the playoffs, baby. We're talking
What's
the
your
boys. It's gonna be 14-21. Boys.
Ooh, okay. What do you think, Zach?
I think the Cowboys will pull it off. I'll say 24-17.
Saying no field goals.
I'm
No
saying
field goals.
I think Cowboys are going to win, but I think they're going to.
24
I
is
think
3
they're gonna-
touchdowns and a field
No,
goal.
for my score. I mean my score.
No.
Sorry.
They are Cowboys 28-17.
All right.
28-17.
For America. And for
And
me
then what
this
about
year.
the Monday night game, which
Nope.
I'm
Then
assuming?
we have one more game on Sunday. There's 3 games on Sunday.
Oh,
The Steelers and
Yep.
the Chiefs.
oh, that's right. Well, the
I'd say,
Steelers don't have
Ben,
a chance.
I say the Steelers don't have a chance. Prove me wrong. I say it's I was gonna say
Yeah.
something dumb. I'm gonna say it's actually closer. I don't think they lose by 20 or 30. I think it's gonna be much closer. I think it's gonna be like 30-27. I don't know why I'm feeling 30. I think people are gonna be
You are.
slinging that thing.
No
Zach?
defense coming.
No
What do
defense
you
is
think?
coming
What do
this
you think,
week.
Zach?
I'll go for the upset here.
You think the
Oh,
Steelers? I
I'm
think
gonna,
they can
I'm
do
gonna say
it.
Big Ben gets it done.
Whoa.
He pulls out the reverse Joe Namath wizard psychology on everybody. I
What's
love
the
that.
score?
I hope that happens.
The score is gonna be 23-20.
I'm going to
I
say
have no basis
exactly.
for the scoring.
I'm going to say this. I absolutely believe Ben Roethlisberger. Kansas City wins 42-3.
42-3.
Well-
40
Well,
because
Vegas
here's the
agrees
thing.
with you. There's a 13-point swing, or
Is there a gap?
Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
That's rough,
Yeah,
son.
yeah. I think that because here's the thing. Patrick Mahomes is upset from last week because they barely beat Denver 28-24 in Denver. They're going back to Kansas City. Everybody's been saying, has Mahomes lost it? Has
They're
Mahomes
not hot,
lost it?
man. They're
they're
not
struggling.
hot.
They're struggling,
That-
and
That's
this is
played
when
into
it
my pick.
breaks out. But they're just going to eat him up, and Ben's going to just be laughing on the sideline.
Big
Because
Ben's
it-
gonna do a fourth quarter drive, like he always
No.
does.
Maybe to kick a field goal to lose 42-3.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we ran out of computer space to record the rest of the What If podcast. Sometimes that happens on our computers, but you didn't miss much. We talked a little bit about the Monday night game and some of the Super Bowl picks that we had, but we'll catch up on those later. We do want to encourage you and remind you to hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the little bell and the like button so that you'll know that we're coming on with a What If podcast. So for everybody here at the What If podcast, for myself, for Jacob, for Zach, we want to encourage you each and every day, each and every week. Look for that inspiration in your life. We'll talk to you later.